right. Hello. Happy Saturday. Welcome to B3 Gym's August Virtual Nutrition Talk. I am Karen Caldwell. I'm the owner and nutrition coach here at B3 Gym. Before we get started today, if you registered for the seminar in advance, make sure you've downloaded the free workbook that goes along with it so that you can take notes during today's talk. I wanted to thank you for attending today's seminar. I'll be hosting a free virtual nutrition talk once a month with the goal of providing you with some great information and resources to help you take control of your health. This month, we're going to be focusing on snacking for success. So we'll go ahead and get started. So at B3 Gym, we believe something as fundamental as nutrition should not be complicated. There are so many different diets out there and so much mixed information. It can be really overwhelming to figure out what is right for you. So my goal here is to help empower you to make better choices and build better habits around your nutrition. When we look at our fitness pyramid, you'll notice that nutrition is the foundation. We have to dial in our nutrition in order to see results. All right, Chris popping on. Good morning, Chris. All right, so moving into our next part here, we're going to talk about the benefits of balanced snacks. So we'll go over 5 tips to help you incorporate balanced snacks into your everyday routine to help keep you fueled and making progress towards your goals. There's a lot of misinformation about snacks out there. Some people think that snacking is bad. Some people don't know how to properly snack between meals. If you're snacking on junk food, you end up having energy spikes and then you crash. And so really the goal of snacking is to help keep you sustained and satisfied between your meals. So here's a question for you. Have you ever been in the middle of a work project or activity and you feel your stomach start to grumble? You ignore it and then the discomfort becomes just unbearable. Finally, it's dinner time and you're so hungry, you inhale your food and you definitely eat way too much food. This can become a really vicious cycle that can definitely help or definitely hold you back from reaching your health and wellness goals. And then on the other hand, maybe during our quarantine with your kitchen and your pantry right there within reach, you've gotten in the habit of grabbing a bag of chips and mindlessly eating, and then you look down and that entire bag is gone. You're mindlessly eating, you're not eating snacks throughout the day, you're just choosing snacks that don't provide the fuel that you need to help you work towards your goals. And then you end up again eating just way too much during the day. So there's a right time and a right way to snack for success. Studies have shown that people who have an eating pattern of 3 meals and 2 snacks a day typically have a lower body mass index. They also have an easier time losing weight and keeping that weight off when compared to people who don't incorporate snacks throughout the day. Studies have also found that people who do have snacks are more likely to consume more fiber, as well as more fruits and vegetables, which give us really good vitamins that we need in our nutrition. So let's get started and we'll start talking about our 5 tips for smart snacking. Step number 1 is going to be to balance your snacks. When we talk about our meals, we know that we should have all 3 macronutrients, which are going to be our proteins, our carbohydrates, and our fats, in order to properly fuel our body. And just like our meals, we also want to make sure that we're balancing our macronutrients in our snacks as well. So here's an example. Here are 5 great balanced snack ideas that you can start adding into your nutrition plan. To save time, one of the best things that you can do for yourself when planning your snacks is to find different ways to use the same ingredient. So you can see at the top with the berries or at the bottom with the chicken that we can use that same ingredient for a couple different snacks. And we want to make sure that we're working smarter, not harder. Like we talked about, we want to keep it really simple. Another one of my favorite go-to snacks is the low sodium deli meat. I usually get the chicken breast rolled up with spinach or any other kind of vegetable with a little bit of like white cheddar cheese, hummus, something like that. So when we're looking at our snacks, balanced, delicious, and perfect for those busy days. These are really easy snacks that you can put together. And this diagram here, this image is in that workbook that I did email you out. So you do have this as a resource if you want to start using some of these snacks in your daily routine. So step number 2 is going to be to keep your snacks snack sized. So you think about our snack portions. We want to try to make sure our snacks are snack sized. They're not an extra meal. We want to keep them a little bit smaller. So portion sizes are really important to keep in mind when we're talking about our consumption, especially when we get into our snacks. When we're looking at our snacks, we want to aim for somewhere between 200 to 300 calories. A lot of convenient snack options at the store tend to be a lot higher in calorie content. So when we're at the grocery store or we're out to eat at a restaurant, I think we've all kind of realized it's no secret that portion sizes in general have really significantly increased. And according to the CDC, research shows that people unintentionally consume more calories when they're faced with larger portions. So simply put, if the food's there, we feel the need to eat all of it, right? So when we go out to eat, they bring us a big plate with our food. One good strategy is to only eat half of your food or only eat 2/3 of your food and then take the rest home for either another meal or another snack. So keep in mind your portion sizes when you're planning out your snacks. You don't want anything too big, just something that's going to hold you over until your next meal. So to help us better visualize and consume the appropriate portion size snacks, here are some things that we can do. So as you said, measure out a serving instead of eating straight from the bag or container. We talked about mindful eating. If you have the whole container in front of you, and you're not focused on how much you're consuming, we can tend to overeat. So measuring out your serving right away instead of eating straight from the container is one good strategy to use. Using snack size bags or one serving containers when making your own snacks. So if you get some food from the store, you just split it up into a couple servings, put it in the fridge, you have a grab and go snack ready to go. You can also purchase pre-portioned snacks. So they have single serve snack portions available, and that will help keep you on track and prevent you from overeating, so eating too much of that one food. So one of my favorite grabs from the grocery store is the single serving non-fat Greek yogurt. There's a ton of different flavors, so there's always something new and exciting. You don't feel like you're eating the same boring thing every day. I'll usually add a serving of berries, raspberries usually, and then a handful of nuts. Just add it right on top, and then it makes the perfect snack. We have our protein, we have our carbohydrate, and then we have our fat in there as well. Super easy for busy days. Just throw it in your bag, bring it with you, you're ready to go. Step number 3 is to make it a family affair. So snack planning is a great way to get your whole family involved. If you have kids, getting your kids involved in meal planning and prep has a ton of different great benefits. It's going to carve out more time for family time. So even if you don't have kids, if you have a significant other or spouse, planning out your snacks, meal planning, cooking together, it's good quality time with your family. For kids, it's going to increase your kids' confidence with nutrition choices. So they're looking to you for guidance to be the role model with your nutrition. So if you can show that good example while you're planning your meals and snacks, it really will help them as well. Increase your overall confidence in the kitchen. Your kids or significant others, whoever, can become way more self-sufficient in the kitchen, and you can trust that you'll make better choices or they'll make better choices. Number 4 is to plan your snacks ahead of time. This is the same thing we talk about with our meals. We talk about meal planning, planning your week in advance, planning your meals in advance so that you don't have to think about it when you're tired. You have it already ready to go. So have you ever heard the saying, don't let busy become a way of life? It is 100% true. Being busy is the #1 habit crusher. And this is why we have to have a plan in advance. If you have a plan, you're going to be more successful. So first, we want to make sure that we stock convenient, nutritious snacks in our home and at our place of work. If you don't have any healthy snacks readily available, the tendency is to turn to other options that might not support your goals. Or, like we said, you might be too tired and busy to make the best choices. Our willpower starts to go down the drain if we're feeling tired or exhausted, and we just want to choose something that's super easy. So if there's not something already made for us or already packed for us, we might not make the best choices in those hungry situations. If you have a day full of errands, make sure that you pack your snacks to go and bring them with you. So on days like this, it's important to have shelf-stable snacks that can last outside of the refrigerator for longer periods of time. And examples of that for our carbohydrates, we think about rice cakes, veggie chips. Fruit is super easy and convenient to bring with you for your carbohydrates. Applesauce pouches, just make sure they're unsweetened so you don't get that added sugar in there. For our protein, there's a couple options here. We have jerky, the turkey jerky, beef jerky. There's tuna fish pouches that you can bring with you. Canned chicken, protein powder is always good, and you can just add some water. For our fat nut butters, they have really convenient single-serving nut butter packets now that they sell at the grocery store. Nuts and seeds. And if we're looking for a combo food, which is going to have protein, carbohydrate, and fat, we usually recommend the RX bars. Are really convenient. It's really balanced snack with all 3 macronutrients in there already. So plan your snacks in advance. If you know that you're going to be busy, pack some food to bring with you so you're not forced to make maybe some more not great choices when you're out and about. So step number 5 is going to be to snack mindfully, not mindlessly. And we'll talk about that here. So we want to make sure that we're snacking mindfully. This means being aware of what and why you're eating, listening to our body's hunger cues. We talked about hunger cues a little bit in last month's nutrition talk. Just listening to your body to know if you're actually hungry. Sometimes we can mistake thirst for hunger, so it might help just to grab some water. Just check in with your body to see where you're at with your hunger. And then making sure we're setting aside time to enjoy your snacks or your meals without distraction. So in a study published in 2014, researchers found that mindfulness predicts reduced calorie consumption. Mindfulness was associated with reports of less uncontrolled eating, reduced calorie consumption and spontaneous eating, and a greater likelihood of choosing fruit than sweets as a snack. So what does this mean? When we think about practicing mindfulness during a meal or during snack times, we're less likely to overconsume foods or overeat, and we're more likely to choose better options. Okay, so we're thinking about listening to our body and thinking about what we're eating. Another strategy that we use with our nutrition clients is to set an alarm for snacks and meals to keep you on track. I know a lot of times in the past, I would get really busy at the gym, would get really busy at work, and I would forget to eat. Wouldn't even think about it. And then later in the day, we get in this cycle where we're so hungry that we end up either overeating, or we're so hungry we start to crave those sweets, those high carbohydrate snacks that we feel like are going to fill us up. So make sure you're eating consistently throughout the day. We say usually every 3 to 4 hours is a good place to be. But again, it's just listening to your body's hunger cues and being mindful when you're choosing your snacks. So coming up in September, we have a 28-day nutrition challenge launching. And so this is open for our B3 members. This is also open to anyone who's not a member at the gym. What we're going to do here, so if you've gotten off track with your nutrition habits and you feel like you need a little bit of a reset, or you would like to try out our nutrition coaching program at a little bit lower price point, this is a great opportunity to try out our nutrition coaching program. What we'll do here, or what you'll get in this nutrition coaching challenge, is you'll get a challenge meal plan. So we'll get 4 weeks of meals that'll include breakfast, a snack, lunch, a snack, and dinner. So we're eating those 3 meals and 2 snacks a day. We'll go through a kickoff seminar. We'll talk a little bit more about the challenge details during that time, how it's going to work. I'll also do individual check-in meetings with everyone who's signed up, and that can be either virtual or in person. We'll do biometric testing, and what that means is we'll take your weight, we'll test your body fat, we'll do some measurements just to get a baseline for where we're at when we start the challenge. Your meal plan will come with a grocery list. This is so great. There's some easy recipes to follow along as well. So we're trying to keep your meals and snacks really simple for you. I'll also be doing some weekly mini challenges during the challenge, which should provide a little bit more excitement and entertainment in there. We have a private app that we use for accountability and support with our nutrition clients. There's also a group aspect to that where you can talk to other people who are doing the challenge. I'll be doing some weekly nutrition tip videos. We'll talk about meal planning. We'll talk about prep. We'll talk about how to balance snacks and meals, different recipe videos as well. I'll be doing virtual check-ins as well, just to keep you accountable and on track towards your goals. And then at the end of the challenge, we'll do another meeting to follow up and see how the challenge went for you. After the challenge, we do have our ongoing nutrition coaching. If you're somebody who has done a nutrition challenge before, or you've tried a quick fix or fad diet, and right at the end of the challenge, you go back to doing what you were doing before, that's what we want to try to avoid. So we want to try to provide that support and accountability for you, so that after the challenge, you're continuing to see that long-term progress towards your health and wellness goals. So again, this will start September 21st will be our kickoff day. We're going to be doing a seminar on the 19th to start off our challenge. And again, this will be in person or from the comfort of your own home. And yeah, should be pretty exciting. Keep an eye on our social media for that. So while I'm doing a little summary here, if you do have any questions for me, you can go ahead and type them in the chat box. I did talk about quite a bit of information today. And the biggest takeaway for today is figuring out what works well for you and what you need to do to set yourself up for success. So just a quick recap of the 5 tips that we went over today for smart snacking. Number 1, balance your snacks. Make sure that each one has a source of good carbohydrates, a source of healthy fats, and a protein. Number 2, make sure that your snacks are snack-sized portions. So we can invest in ways to make portion sizes easier to manage. Single-serve containers or bags are great options for that, just to have everything ready to go. Number 3, make it a family affair. Get your spouse, get your kids involved in planning and preparing your snacks. Number 4, plan your snacks ahead of time. I cannot emphasize how important this is, especially if you start to get busy, just making sure that you have everything ready to go in advance. And then number 5, practice mindfulness. So always be mindful of why you're eating. Am I actually hungry? Am I just hungry because I'm bored? Am I stressed? Am I thirsty? Just think about why you're eating and then what you're eating. So making good choices when we're eating our foods. Hopefully, this will help you become a snacking pro. Thank you for joining me today. Thanks for hopping on. If you have specific questions about today's nutrition talk, or you want to learn a little bit more about our nutrition coaching program, you can reach out to me at nutrition@b3gym.com. I would be happy to help you with any nutrition questions that you have. We are right now offering virtual and in-person support. So if you're not comfortable coming into the gym, no worries. We can reach out to you online. Next month, we are going to be focusing on our 28-day nutrition challenge. So our next free virtual nutrition talk will be in October. You can follow us on social media for more nutrition tips until then. And that is all we have for today. Thank you again for joining me, and I will see you soon.